Okay, hello my viewers. Welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. If you're watching it after the live stream goes off, you can leave your thoughts down below, of course. Talk about your predictions for the game, what the Steelers to do to win this game, and also your score predictions for the game and everything down below. But I think this game right here is going to be an interesting game for the Steelers. The Steelers are playing, of course, the Chicago Bears. We haven't won in Chicago in 30 years. Been a long time since we won in Chicago, of course. But first time for everything. You can go out there and try to break that curse in Chicago and try to get a victory. And I have the game plan. I have the game plan right here. How the Steelers can possibly go out there and do that. Let me write this down right here. There you go. Yeah, but I have the game plan on how to do that too as well. We're going to break it down, of course. Steelers offense, Steelers defense, what they need to do in this game to try to win. Okay, first thing first, of course, look at the Steelers offense. There's only one thing they really need to do and focus on to try to win this game. And that thing is run the football. You have to run the football. The Steelers, I feel like they could be more successful running the football. I know Arthur Smith mentioned it a little bit ago earlier this week. He said that he would love to, of course, run the football 40-plus times and get Caleb Johnson touches as well as Jalen Warren a lot of touches. But he said we can't stay on the field too long to do that. But I'm like, Arthur Smith, you are the offensive coordinator. You call the plays. You have to go out there and be able to put those guys in those spots so they can go out there and get opportunity to run the football as well. We know we have the ability to do that. And this game right here against the Bears, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You got to run the football. The Bears have allowed, let me check the numbers. The Bears have allowed, what's up, Jared? What's up? The Bears have allowed a lot of big-time yardage, especially in some losses and some wins too as well. In their last game, they won against the Vikings. They allowed 115 rushing yards. They rushed for 150 themselves, so they were able to overcome that and get the victory. The game before that, they allowed 169 rushing yards. They did win the game, a close one. They had to come back down double digits to the Giants. The Giants blew a 10-point lead, but the games they lost. They lost to the Vikings in week 1. When J.J. McCarthy had the big comeback in the fourth quarter, they allowed 120 rushing yards. When they lost to the Lions, like that, when they got blown out, the Lions put 50 on them. They allowed 177 rushing yards. When they lost to the Ravens, who had Tyler Huntley, the backup quarterback playing, they allowed 178 rushing yards. The Bears are allowing 132 rushing yards per game. They're allowing a lot of rushing yards per game. The Steelers got to go out there and establish a run. You need to put your tight ends out there. You run 12 personnel, 13 personnel, hell, 23 personnel, 2 running backs and 3 tight ends out there, and go out there and just make it tough for them and establish the run. I know you guys want to see Aaron Rodgers go out there and stick it to the Bears one last time, but I don't want to see us being pass happy. I want to see us run the football, playing some old school football. It's the Steelers, Bears, the old school legacies both teams have. Go out there and play some old school football. Run that football. They allow 133 rushing yards per game. I want to see Jalen Warren get about 15 to 20 touches from carries, and I want to see Caleb Johnson to get about at least 5 to 10 as well. The Kenneth Gainwell, he can be out there on passing downs. He might get a few handoffs as well, but he's better as a pass catcher. He'll really have one game where he went out there and played good as a runner, and that was against the Vikings. But last week, he was more of a pass catcher. He had 81 yards in the air on 8 catches and 2 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns in the air as well. So I think it's best for the Steelers to go out there and run the football. They allow 133 rushing yards per game. You got to run the football. You have to. And those losses, like I mentioned, the Ravens, who had backup quarterback Tyler Huntley, 178. Lions, 177. Like that, Vikings, the first game of the season, 120. Even in some wins, they allowed some big yardage. And the reason they really stay afloat in some of those games that they won is because the turnovers. They can get some turnovers. Like that's one thing they can get. Their defense not the best defense. We're going to break that down a little bit more. Their defense not the best in terms of stopping you like that. But they can get turnovers, though. I think Terrell Edmonds, he has 4 interceptions. Wright has 4 interceptions, and Kevin Byard has 5 interceptions. Those are 3 top leaders in interceptions this season. They can get turnovers on you, and they got to capitalize off of that with Caleb Williams and stuff they have on offense, of course. Ben Johnson being more of an offensive-minded coach and stuff. They have ways to capitalize off those turnovers and make things happen. So, in my opinion, you just got to go out there and run the football. You run the football, you get, of course, Jalen Warren established. What is playing? Oh, this is it's an ad. But you get Jalen Warren established, of course, and let them go out there and make things happen. Then you use Kenneth Gainwell, of course, in the passing game, extension to the run a little bit in some plays. And you also go out there and use Caleb Johnson. You do that, you have a lot of success. But you got to run the football. You have to run the football. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Run the football. That's the main thing. Now, defensively, what you have to do is the opposite. Stop the run. One thing the Bears have done like that in some of those games, they ran the ball effectively. But you look at Caleb Williams, he's playing better than what he did last year, and his rookie season when he was playing, of course, as well. But one thing that Caleb Williams does not do, that he's still trying to develop into doing, is taking what the defense is giving him. Sometimes he try to do a lot more, and you want him to do that in this game like that. I know he's a good player overall, but you want him to go out there and do a lot more. You want him to go out there and try to think he can make every pass and try to do all that crazy stuff playing hero ball. So, but one way to do that, really, to stop the run. You stop the run. Daniel Swift had some pretty good games so far with the Vikings. He had a nice game last game like that. Ever since he got back, he's been playing pretty good football for them like that. You want to be able to stop the run, make them where they're one-dimensional, like he did to the Bengals, like he did to the Colts, like he did to the Vikings, like he did to all these top teams that was running the football pretty well. You did that. You made them one-dimensional, and your team was able to get after them like that. We see what happened when you get pressure in on quarterbacks like that. And usually Steelers get pressure in, turnovers usually happen. We seen last week. You stop the run. Like that, most part of the game, like they stopped the run from the Bengals, trying to keep them hemmed in, not let them do too much, of course. I believe they still had, let me get the stats correct. I believe the Bengals had, because they was running the ball a little bit early on, but the Steelers did a good job in the second half. Let me pull the stats up so I can have the exact numbers. The Steelers allowed 100 rushing yards in that game. But if you watch the game, the Steelers did a good job in keeping everything like hemmed in, not letting the team go crazy. Well, because at one point it was playing behind by double digits, so they had to pass the ball, and then when you have to do that, you can get your pass rush in there, and you can cause turnovers. Of course, we've seen that on one play where they sent the blitz in, Joe Flacco seen the pressure coming in and threw it. Kyle Duggar pick 6. Like that, we've seen some plays happen like that. So we're seeing what happened to the Colts as well. We played the Colts. The interception that Daniel Jones had, 5 turnovers in that game. A few strip sacks, of course, and also some interception like that, getting a little paranoid, because when you start hitting people in the pocket, they eventually start feeling stuff like it's not there. They start seeing things that are not there, seeing ghosts. Like Sam Darnold said, remember one time when we had football playing the Patriots, he said, I'm out there seeing ghosts. I don't know what's going on like that. So that usually happens to anybody like that. You're getting hit a lot. So you can make it where they're one-dimensional, where they're dropping back to pass the ball. Because when teams are dropping back to pass the ball, that's when your team is at their best. Because we have one of the best pass rush fronts in the league, of course, with T.J. Watts, Biggs, Highsmith, Cam Hayward, Harmon, those guys who can get after it. And now having Kyle Duggar and Jalen Ramsey play safety most of the time has been very good. So now I want to see more of this as well, because when we get Deshaun Elliott back, I know he was on IR. He might be coming off IR, I think, next week. So we'll probably see how he kind of looks. We get him back. I don't know what they're going to do fully. Maybe a 3-safety look when you have Jalen Ramsey maybe playing up close, and you have, of course, Elliott at the back with Kyle Duggar. But that's going to be very cool to see like that. Kyle Duggar been a good acquisition. Like getting him and bringing him to the team has been very good for the Steelers. And the Steelers been going out there playing pretty good defensively like that. In the air, keeping things bracketed in, keeping things like 2 safeties over the top. It's been working out well. And now you get, of course, James Pierre, where he's playing, of course. I know Darius Slay is going to be the starter, but that means he's going to play most of the snaps. Because we see Alex Highsmith as a starter, but Herbig still get out there a good amount of time, of course, as well. So I'm hoping it's the same way. Darius Slay has not played good this season. He's allowing like 109 passer rating, which is very good. I think he's also allowing like 64 completion percentage as well when getting targeted as well. So we need him to lock in. Of course, in this game, he's playing against Rome. You got Luther Burden. You got DJ Moore. You got some young receivers who are very shifty. DJ Moore, we know what he can do. He's a very established receiver. And we know Luther Burden was a guy who I did a lot of videos on this channel and my own channel, the Arsenal D.B channel as well, discussing his potential and stuff. How I want him to be a Steeler. I want Luther Burden to come here to Pittsburgh. But the Steelers didn't draft a receiver. Like that's a story for a different time, of course. But Luther Burden, I think he'll be a nice player. He had 100 yards early this season. But the Vikings, I keep saying the Vikings. The Bears have a good receiving core. Good receiving core, of course. And those guys are going to be pretty tough to try to keep him in. But you can do it. You can definitely do it like that. You play the style you've been playing, keep everything hemmed in, not allowing them to have those those easy passes, those quick throws and stuff. You play tight. You see what happened last game? You play tight. You see what happened in the game, of course, against the Chargers when you play tight. Now, of course, in the end of that game, of course, the offense turned the ball over a few times in their own territory. They couldn't score, so you lost that game. But the past 2 games, the Steelers' defense against the Colts, against the Chargers, and against the Bengals, they did a good job to keep everything hemmed in. Against some pretty solid offense, some good offenses. The Colts had the number 1 offense. The Bengals' offense is averaging like 35, 36 a game. And then Chargers' offense been up and down like that. But you did a good job against those offenses, like staying up, keep everything hemmed in, keep everything close, not letting them get that first easy pass off, and making where they have to work for it. So you give your pass rush time to get there. T.J. Watt, getting pressure around. He had 6.5 sacks. Him and Herbig got the same amount of sacks this season. T.J. Watt, again, chipped. They say he got chipped almost almost double the amount that anybody else had chipped. I think he was like up there in the 120s like that. And the next closest person I think was it Aiden Hutchinson? I think it was somebody. It was like in the 60s or something like that. So he was getting chipped a lot. They've been finding ways to still make things happen like that. Sometimes he might get the sack every time, but our pass rush have been getting things done, having a three-headed monster. So that's all you got to do really in this game. You stop the run, you make them one-dimensional. We have to drop back and throw the ball, of course, with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a good player, of course, but sometimes he does that hero ball thing, kind of like Josh Allen does at times and Mahomes does at times. And usually it don't turns out too good. Like they're trying to play like that, like you're back in college or something. And we've seen Josh Allen yesterday try to do that a few times like that. But you can't get, any guys can get open, of course, on the outside and struggling. Now, the Bears have been scoring points. They've been doing it through their run game a lot, of course, as well. If you look at Caleb Williams' numbers, I didn't pull his numbers up exactly, but his numbers haven't been the best. Last game, he was 16 for 32, I think, which is not that good. He's a good player, but he's been struggling a little bit of late. He had 50 completion percentage last game, only 193 passing yards, a 68 passer rating. The game before that, it's the Giants, 55 completion percentage, 220 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 82 passer rating. Before that, of course, he had 3 touchdowns against the Bengals. Bengals defense, but you know, it's the Bengals defense. Everybody score. I can throw 3 touchdowns against the Bengals defense. That's how bad the Bengals defense been playing. And then the Ravens game, 65 completion percentage, 77 passer rating. Had an interception in that game. 57 completion percentage against the Saints. 1 interception. They won that game though, but 61 passer rating. So when you look at his numbers, you only can pull up really just one, probably 2 games. The Bengals game, then the game against the Cowboys, which is 2 horrific defenses where he played like real good. He was just lighting things up. But when you look at the other games, of course, it's kind of like middle of the pack, mediocre style a little bit. And he's a good player, but I feel like one thing that he got to learn, you can't get it all in one play. You can't get, I hope you don't learn that this game. Don't learn that this game. Wait till the next game to learn that. But you can't get it all in one play. You got to take what the defense give you. Once he learned that, Josh Allen had to learn that too. And Mahomes, early in his career, in that second year he went out there and played. He threw 50 touchdowns, of course, his first year starting. And one thing Mahomes had to learn when teams start playing him differently, to take what they give him. And he started doing that. And he played even better, I think, doing that. Take there Josh Allen. Like he won MVP last year. He took what the defense gave him like that. Stop trying to force things. Caleb Williams going to come to a point where you get to MVP candidate because he has the potential to be an MVP candidate. He's going to have to learn how to keep things hemmed in and take what the defense give him. But don't learn that this game against the Steelers. Learn that next game when you play. They play the Eagles on Black Friday. Learn it that time. I think you can learn it then. But against us, keep playing like you're playing. Like that. Go out there and just throw the ball around and do some crazy stuff. He didn't turn the ball over too much last year or this year like that as much, but it's been very inaccurate like that. His completion percentage is below 60 this year. You can kind of round it up if you want to. 59.7. You can round it up and give it to him if you want. 2,329 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, so there's 4 interceptions, but 89 passer rating. Like that. He hasn't played the best past few games. They've been winning. They've been able to run the football and get turnovers on defense like that. They've been winning games, but when you look at the sample size, everything he's been doing, he's been kind of making it shaky. And these some defenses, you're looking at it really. The Vikings defense, Steelers defense is better. Giants, Steelers defense is better. Bengals. Now he did good against the Bengals because it's the Bengals, of course. And the Ravens, of course, Ravens defense is good. I think our Steelers and Ravens defense are maybe on par with each other like that a little bit. But yeah, so like he really haven't played the best football in the past few games. I'm hoping he don't try to play that against us either. But I'm not saying that he can't go out there and do it. But Caleb Williams hasn't played the best because he's got to learn that thing, like I mentioned. Learn how to take the defense give him. Just learn it in the future. Don't learn it this game. Learn it in the future. But the Steelers can make the Bears one-dimensional, but they can't run the football. You stop the run, and Caleb Williams has to drop back. And his inaccuracies and like the miscommunication with the receivers on the outside and stuff been going on like that, and make him play that hero ball that he does at times, you definitely have a chance to win this game, of course. My prediction for this game, though, I think the Steelers could win this game. It'd be like a close one if you run the football because they allow 133 rushing yards a game, the Bears. And all their losses, they allow 178, 177, and 120. So if you can run the football and get up there where you're getting like Jalen Warren, Caleb Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, they get a combine of like 45 or 45 to 50 carries like that. Where you're able to run the ball and move it and stay consistent with it. You probably can win this game. I think it'd be like a close game, not super close, but a little bit. Steelers probably be up 17-10 at halftime. And I think the Bears might tie it at one point, make it 17-17, and I think the Steelers pull away and win 27-17. Steelers win, I think, against the Bears on the road for the first time in 30 years. Go out there and keep things like that. But if you start turning the ball over, we've seen what the Bears can do when teams turn the ball over, and when teams also can't stop their run game. You're able to stop the run, you start turning the ball over as well. then you're not going to win. And the Steelers have not won games. We turn the ball over multiple times. We've seen the Seahawks game. We turned the ball over twice. Well, actually 3 times. You count the one, the punt thing that happened with Caleb Johnson. Then that would be that was a loss right there. So that's 3 turnovers. We've seen what happened against the Chargers. 2 turnovers we lost. See what happened against the Bengals. 2 turnovers we lost. We see what happened against the Packers. And the Packers won. I don't even turn the ball over in that game. I don't think so, right? But I think the Steelers has messed the formula up. They was running the ball very well in the first half. Had 81 rushing yards in the first half, and then the second half, it was up by 9, and they stopped running the football completely. They wanted Aaron Rodgers to have the little game where like he stick it to the Packers or something. But don't turn into one of those games right here. Keep the game very condensed. Keep it old school. Run the football. Do not turn the game into one of those games where you have to hope for Rodgers to go out there and do magical things against the Bears. You don't need to see all that. The only thing you need to do and worry about is the win. I don't care how it looks. Get the win. You run the football consistently, having 40 to 50 touches on the ground like that, getting 140, 150 rushing yards, and then you use the play action, of course, to set things up. DK Metcalf going to have some opportunities down the field. We got to hit on those opportunities as well like that. Get some shots down the field. DK Metcalf, Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington, give him the ball as well. Jonnu Smith, let those guys work, of course, on the outside. Roman Wilson as well, and take some shots down the field here and there. But we should be running the football more. We should have more rush attempts than pass attempts in this game. That's how you win this game. That's how you win it. So we'll see the Steelers establish that in this game. But that's basically all I have to say in this video right here. So if you guys are watching the video after, leave your thoughts down below. Your score prediction. My score prediction, Steelers win 27-17. At halftime, the score, Steelers will be up 17-10. The Bears tie the game up coming after halftime. And they get 17-17. And then the Steelers pull away like they do late in the games like they always do. They have a big play, and they pull away, and they win this game 27-17. And you break the curse in Chicago, and you improve to 7-4, and get ready to play the Bills. And that's gonna be a good one because the Bills don't look like the Bills that we used to play 2 years ago. And like I mentioned, remember on my game picks on my channel, I picked the Texans to win. I said the Texans have the defense that can match up. They can stop the run. Now the Bills did rush for over 100 yards in that game, but when Josh Allen turned the ball over and getting sacked like the way he was getting sacked because the Texans front was getting to him, bad things happen. But we'll worry about that, of course, next week. But we focus on the Bears right now. If we find a way to beat the Bears, get things done, and you stay afloat, 7-4. Because I hope Coach Tomlin probably definitely doing it. He's a great coach, of course. He's probably definitely telling them, hey, you guys, you're 6-4. You have to keep winning. You know, if you want to be embarrassment and start 4-1 and then lose the division, you got to keep winning. Run the football. The Bears are allowing 130 rushing yards a game. We're going to go out there and impose our will. We're going to outwill the Bears. We're going to play physical up front, and we're going to lock in. Just keep handing the ball off. Jalen Warren, Caleb Gainwell, Caleb Johnson, all those guys getting touches. 12 personnel, 13 personnel, utilizing those guys and just running the football. And then defensively, stop the run, make it with Caleb Williams to play hero ball. He's completing on less than 60% of his passes. And his passer rating is 87. He hasn't been looking the best. Just play that style of football. Let him do his little hero ball thing when you make them one-dimensional, and go out there and win the game. That's how y'all do. It's kind of like playing the Bengals a little bit, but a little different. You just got to play like that. He said, got to start Mason. Yeah, Mason, I think is the line to start. I know Coach Tomlin mentioned it today. He said that Aaron Rodgers is still questionable. They're doing further things. He said he barely practiced. He said like partial practicing today. So I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I feel like whatever quarterback play, they shouldn't be throwing the ball that much. It should be running. Because the Bears cannot stop the run. They're allowing 130 rushing yards a game. Their losses, 178 against the Ravens, 177 against the Lions, 120 against the Vikings, 169 against the Giants 2 weeks ago, and 115 against the Vikings. Run the football. So whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph, they should have at least about 18 pass attempts. Maybe if they even get to that. Run the football. We should see 40 or 50 carries on the ground between all our running backs. That's how you win. The Texans offense will be their downfall. Yeah, Davis Mills, he's playing solid enough, but it's not going to be enough in those games where like things come down to the wire. The defense was able to be on the field this time, but what if your offense is to get a touchdown? And it's like, you got to see how things kind of go like that. C.J. Stroud haven't played too good. I see some people saying C.J. Stroud could be the Steelers' next quarterback. I don't know about that. C.J. Stroud is all right, but Ohio State quarterbacks for some reason do not seem to develop well in the league. I don't know what's going on with that. But they can't develop any quarterback. Any quarterback from Ohio State can never develop in the league correctly. But all Steelers got to do to win this game is run the football. Run the football, run the football, run the football. We need all our running backs involved, getting touches. You know, Jalen Warren, like I mentioned earlier in the video, Jalen Warren, let him get 15 to 20 carries. Caleb Johnson, let him get some carries as well. Kenneth Gainwell only had one good game running the football. You can use him in the passing game because he's a pass. He basically receiver 3 for us. He's a pass catcher, but I don't have him getting all those hands. I get tired. I hate every time I see that. Be 3rd and like 2 and 3rd and 3. They have Gainwell out there. I'm like, put Jalen Warren out there. Gainwell is not built like that to be running through the gaps and stuff. Put Jalen Warren out there. Let him run through the gap. Or Caleb Johnson, let him run through the gap. You got Kenneth Gainwell out there getting all these touches and all these looks that Jalen Warren or Caleb Johnson could be getting. Let him stay out there to do those pass catching stuff, the screens and the little dump offs on certain downs. You want to mix it up a little bit. Line them up as a receiver, but stop giving them all those touches. I feel like for some reason they just like force it. Oh, last week he had a good game, of course, in the air. They utilized him well that way, but stop giving them all these handoffs. Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson should be the main guys getting it. He said Caleb Johnson instead of Gainwell. Yes, Caleb Johnson got to be utilized a lot more than Gainwell. Because Gainwell is cool in pass catching, but I feel like they overdo it sometimes with the handoffs and certain looks. Like they have him coming downhill, down like in the out formation. Like, stop it. That's not his game. That's Caleb Johnson's game. Why we drafted him? Ohio State. Ohio, you've seen him. Not Ohio, Iowa. And Iowa, we see him going downhill. Jalen Warren, same thing we know he can do, of course, with the ball in his hands as well. Let those guys get utilized. We should see 40 to 50 rush attempts in this game for 150 yards rushing. I want to see some old school football. On Facebook, like, it's boring. I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to see that type of football. The score is like kind of stagnant, and then you open things up. You have the opportunity, of course, pass the ball to DK Metcalf down the field and Pat Fryer, the other guys down the field. But I want to see us run the football against the Bears. They can't stop the run like that. Don't turn the ball over. Run the football. We don't need Aaron Rodgers to have a hero day where he's going out there and sticking to the Bears. We don't need all that. If Rodgers starting or Rudolph starting, whoever start, they should be doing like this: hut, 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 toss, hut, toss, hut. Maybe pass it, but it should be a lot. They should get ready to just hand the ball off. Just run the football. That's what I gotta do. Just run the football. Just run the football. It says on 3rd and long or 5, use Gainwell. Yeah, Gainwell is good in the passing, but it's like they overuse him sometimes. For like it'd be like you'll see some plays where it's like where it'd be like 3rd and 1. You have Gainwell out there. It's like him to get 1 yard and he gets stuffed. Like then you got to punt. You know, Coach Tomlin, old school, he never want to go for it on 4th down. He went for it on 4th down. Going for it on 4th down a lot more this season, like that. Maybe because Aaron Rodgers is there, and Rodgers telling him, "Come on, guys," like that. But he's old school. He want to go for a 4th down. I'm like, come on, man, it's 4th and 1. Connor Hayward and Darnell Washington. Let Connor Hayward get the ball, and Darnell Washington just push him over. We can get that every time. That's 1st down every time. The Steelers should also pick up Cooks. The Saints waived them. Yeah, I made a video about that yesterday. So the Steelers pick up Cooks. I feel like Cooks is a better. Like I said in that video too, Cooks is a better piece than MVS. MVS is all right, but Cooks, I feel like he's been playing. Of course, he's been active on one thing as well, like that, and he's still showing you that he can still have a little juice as well too. So I wouldn't mind a Brandon Cooks like that. He'd fit right in. The Steelers love those small, shifty receivers, of course, as well. You know, the Archer. He just scored a touchdown, his little Archer pose and stuff. He played for the Eagles, played for the Patriots, played for the Cowboys, and now he went back to the Saints. He started with the Saints. And he's a pretty good player too as well. He's got his speed and quickness. I wouldn't mind that at all. I don't know if the Steelers will go ahead and do that or not, but I wouldn't mind that at all if the Steelers did bring in Brandon Cooks. That'd be cool. Because MVS, he probably won't get activated again this week. I feel like MVS is just there just to be there, like that. Because I thought he'd be activated by now because you need all the help you can get at the receiver position, but I guess not. But I think the Steelers will probably bring in somebody else, hopefully. We'll see if they bring in Brandon Cooks or they decide to just roll with what they have. But that's all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe for more content. If you guys are joining after and watching it after, leave your thoughts down below. Your prediction of the game. I think the Steelers win 27-17. At halftime, the score will be 17-10. And I think the Bears tied up 17-17. And the Steelers defense make a big play. And then we get the Steelers to win the game 27-17, breaking the curse in Chicago. And rushing for 150 yards. I need 150 yards on the ground. That's what I need. So we'll see exactly what happens in this game. Peace out, guys. Jared Byron, yeah, my weekend should be good. Hopefully the Steelers don't mess it up. Like that, my weekend should be good. Hopefully the Steelers don't mess the weekend up. I'm going to be live streaming this week as well on the channel on Sundays too as well. I might be a little late, but I'll be there around like 12, something like that. But hopefully the Steelers do not mess it up like that. But yeah, I see you guys when I see you. Peace out.